Altair, and ciao Mattia. This time I can really say ciao. Mattia is our implementation change manager here in Tdcx.
Our boss.
Our boss. Our boss.
Too.
And we are really happy and glad to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
The topic of today, we thought about it like it was kind of supernatural because I was talking to my dad and he was in a dinner, and during this dinner all of the people there, they said, okay, we have our son or daughters that are abroad, and no one had someone like there in Italy. And it was really interesting because he said, yeah, my daughter too, Sara, she's working in Spain. And this was kind of a topic that we thought to talk about to you, because we think that you have the specific background in living abroad and studying abroad, not just here in Spain, but in general, no? And you started with a master, and then now we are working Tdcx. Do you want to share something about that with us?
Yeah, sure. So I think I started living abroad about 5 years ago, almost. I had previous experience. I went a few months in the US back in 2013. And then starting right after the bachelor degree that I got in Genova, my hometown, I decided just to move. I didn't have anything specific in mind. I had different plans, like it could be Barcelona, it could be Berlin, it could be Stockholm. But then, luckily, I had the opportunity to come here just for vacation, and in that point I fell in love with the city, so I just decided to move here, as you were mentioning, for the master first in the very first moment, and then when I finalized the master I had the opportunity or to go back to Italy and go to Milan, or stay here, obviously. I mean, there is no challenge, there is no comparison between the two. Like, I mean, Milan is a great city, but Barcelona is completely different. And after that point, I just started with a few jobs first. My first internship, and then starting January 2020, I joined Tdcx. First as an agent for one of our campaigns for LinkedIn, and then I just scaled up to team lead position first, and now I'm working more on project management and everything that is related to implementation of new projects and change management, like assess the possibility to change different factors within the same project itself. So this is kind of my story in a nutshell. I think I took like 1 minute for this, but yeah, this is me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something. For example, okay, you didn't work in Italy. You don't have the comparison to compare like a company from Italy and a company from Spain. But if you have to do a comparison between when you worked in the United States and when you worked in Spain, which was the difference that you saw the most?
I was not working in the US, so that was an opportunity that I had there, and I went there just for swimming, because in the past I was swimming, and at the same time studying. So it was more kind of, let's say that if you want a comparison, I can give you the comparison that we had between the different scholar systems. And Italy is much more into the theoretical part, and compared to what we have what they have in the US, and what we have here is much more practical on what you might need on a daily basis when you start working. So that's the main difference, and you can see this reflecting also in the work environment in the end, because you see Italy that we are much more analytical maybe on things. We know how to handle different things. We know how to arrange ourselves, let's say, while if you compare this to Spain, maybe they are less structured, but they take more actions on anything that they want to do. And we started the program with very few processes in place, but we started it, you know? So we didn't expect the very last moment to have everything ready. We started, and then it's a continual work in progress on what we have to do on a daily basis. I think it's just the culture that is a bit different, even though if both Spain and Italy are quite similar in this sense. But this is why I decided to start here, to remain here. It just gives you a different perspective. You have more opportunities to challenge yourself and go above and beyond on what you are doing.
From this, I would like to ask you, since you talk about since you mentioned that Italy and Spain are maybe in this quite similar, so why you think the young generation, us for example, we are all going to study and to work abroad, you know, we can hear and we can read in a lot of statistical articles that a lot of young people are going away. So what's the main reason, why you didn't come back, for example, to Italy, which I think your family is there, for example? No,
I'm not sure why I did not go back. Probably is mainly related to the job opportunities that you have here compared to what you have in Italy, but that depends also on the location that you are in. We are both from Genova, and we know that the working situation is not the best. Like, if you want to do something, you have to move. You have to go somewhere else. You have to go to Milan, maybe. Here you have the opportunity to stay in a city that allows you to have a work-life balance that is extremely good compared to any other city in Europe, as far as I know, as far as I have understanding. Probably there are other cities with other exceptions and with other pros and cons, but it really depends on what you're looking for. So, and it's also in terms of what do I want to do? What type of experience do I want to do? Do I want to have a standard experience of finishing the university, start a job in Italy, create a family there, and live the rest of my life there? Or do I want to see something different? And I think this is the main point that is kind of shared across all of us, not just here in this room, but across the all Tdcx, especially for the international people. Another thing that I feel could be valuable is understanding the difference between why I decided to stay here and why I decided to move, because it's very different. I decided to stay here because I had the conception of what I wanted to do at that point. I had the understanding of, okay, this is the path that I want to take. I don't want to go back to Italy anytime soon in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's a thought that I got afterwards. Like, when I started and I decided to move, it was because I had that kind of internal struggle, let's say, of saying, okay, what am I doing next? Like, am I sure that I just want to stay here and keep going with studies? Because it was kind of a narrow environment, and I didn't really like it. Like, you have much more that you want to discover. You have much more things that you can do. So the first step is just try a different direction compared to what all the others are doing. So this is why I decided to move and to start a different experience.
And the thing that you stayed here, basically, I can add maybe in your journey, in your path here, is that basically you had the opportunity to grow. So I think in your mental thoughts, sometimes you think, okay, I just want to come back because of X reasons. But in this case, in your case, what Tdcx is giving more than maybe other companies is basically that you can grow. So they gave you this opportunity and you saw that, and you didn't even think maybe sometimes to come back to Italy or to change the country because you have this opportunity here.
Yeah, I agree. In the sense that for sure Tdcx, and again, probably I'm one of the most tenured at this point here in Tdcx. Like I've been with the company for 3 years now, and they gave me a lot of opportunities of growing. I don't think it's just in terms of the company itself. Obviously, that's the actual culture that is in within TCX. Like what we want to do is growing people internally, give opportunities to everybody to grow. I was talking about this yesterday with a client. Like a few of my teammates that were here since the very beginning of the program are still here in TDCX in completely different departments.
Yeah.
This means that here you have the opportunity to grow on what you actually want to grow to. Like I worked a lot on project management. This is what I want to do. I know that I will have the opportunity to work on that also in the future. The other guy, same in this case, our champion, culture champion, is working a lot on engagement for everybody. This is what he wants to do, and he got the opportunity to do so. So this is the main thing about TDCX. Also is something that is related to how you are and what you want to do. Like if you have the right mindset of saying, okay, I want to put some effort to grow myself in a position or even other, I don't think you cannot find this opportunity also in other places. But TDCX is actually giving you the opportunity to do so on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. So that's the most important thing, and this is why I'm staying here yet.
Yeah. Have you ever thought, now probably you're not thinking about it, but sometimes I do, I just, think what I'm going to do next, even though I know that I'm not making plans anyway. But have you thought, like, what would happen if you would have received, an offer to go back to Italy? You would have chose to stay here in Barcelona, Tdcx, whatever, or you would have gone? Because in my case, now I'm in the mood that even if I get an opportunity to go back, I would never go back. Because I've been here just for not that much, 5 months. You've been abroad for 5 years. So sometimes have you ever thought during this period, okay, maybe I go back, or even if I receive an opportunity, even if it's good, I'm not going to accept it because I'm happier outside of Italy?
Yes, I mean yes and no. It's always something that you need to take into consideration. Like there is not just the work environment and the opportunity that you have with work, but you have your affections, you have everything that is outside the work environment, the lifestyle that you have, the work-life balance that we were saying before. So there are different things to take into consideration. I'm not excluding anything. Probably I'm not that willing to go back to Genova itself. That's that's another thing that we need to say. But I'm not gonna exclude anything. Like there is also always the possibility to change and to do something different on what you're doing now. One of the main thing that I think is important, and I just touched on that, is the actual affection that you have back in your hometown. I'm not particularly emotional as a person. Last time that I went back from Genova to here, I cried because I saw my parents crying as well for the first time. So there is also that part of, okay, I'm doing my life, I'm creating my own life, that's fine. But on the other side, you also need to take into consideration that you lose a lot on the other side. Like you see your parents, your family once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, and this is it. Like it's not that easy. So if I would have to go back, one of the main reasons why I would do it is because of my family and because of my affection, as far as I am, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to add something that happens to me a lot of times, especially since I'm living here in Barcelona, because and maybe it happened to you too when you say, okay, yeah, I'm going back to Barcelona, and everyone is like, yeah, you are living your best life, you have your job there, you have friends there, and Barcelona is an amazing city, vida loca. Yeah, okay, but at the same time, most of the time, it's not just hard for the people that are staying in Genoa in our case, or in our hometown, but it's hard even for us. Like, okay, we come here, we have our life here, and we are lucky because it's true we are in Barcelona.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it happened to me too to think like, okay, I love here, but at the same time I have my family there, and maybe I would like to stay closer to there. So why don't go back to Milan and work to Milan? Or there are thoughts that we also have, and all of us actually, you know, the people that are living abroad. Some of the people more, some less, but it's something that. That you remind me now. So yeah, it's true. And I would like to connect into this, asking you if you can kind of give an advice, let's say, to the people that are looking at us, and or to the people here in Tdcx, because it's not about just for me, but a little bit I know you about the position that you have, but the background that you have, which is different than ours. So if you can, in general, give an advice based on your experience.
Yes.
Yes. This is a hard
one. I can give an advice. No, I mean, it really depends on how you are. Again, everything needs to be contextualized on the type of person you are. For me, one of the main struggle that I had in the past is that, and I also have it now from time to time, is you need to achieve your goals. Like, you need to be there and get to your goals as fast as possible. With experience, and now I'm talking specifically about the work environment, you understand that all these processes will take time. Like, it's not that one day you work as customer service and you work with clients, and the day after you will start running the company. The process takes time. You need to be patient. You don't have to rush on things. You need to try to upskill yourself in a certain sense. Actually, in all the senses. Like, it's not just ready to work, but in all the aspects of your being, you need to grow. Like, again, I was saying before, I'm not emotional. Maybe I should be a bit different in that sense. So what can I do to improve in that specific part? I don't know how to do a specific thing in a project. Like, how can I get better on that? So what helped me a lot since the very beginning is being curious, that for sure. But on the other side, I had to learn to do not rush times, because it's counterproductive for what you are doing for the future, obviously, because you don't have the setup to grow or to maintain that growth. And on the other side, also in terms of mental health, like, it's fine to have an objective, but it's not fine to kind of be obsessionate. I'm not sure if that's the right word about that objective. So be curious, don't rush.
Okay, then connecting to the thing that you said before, I was thinking about this thing that in Italy, you know, it's not that common to change workplace. It's not that common to switch from another company to another. And you said that before, like, if you want to change, you want to do that. But for example, if you say that in Italy, they're going to see you like a traitor or like a strange guy, because in Italy we have the thing of il posto fisso. If you get a job, you stick with it until you die. So this is the thing. It was a nice thing, to be honest, that I was thinking about it. So you felt this when you came here, that you can be more open, that people would accept and complement your growth, whatever?
I'm not sure in the sense that here for sure it's well perceived, like maybe not well perceived by everybody, but it's kind of normal for people to change and to adapt to change. So that for sure. I think in Italy, what we have that is different is like the culture that we have in the past. I think at this point, maybe it's a bit more okay, let's put it like that, to change it, to change any job, to change city and so on. But we, in a certain sense, we still stick to the culture that we had in the past with my parents, for example, have the same job since they started. Like my father started in at 20. Now he is 61, 62. My mom started at 22, and now she is 60. So you see that the thing of having the job for a long period of time back then, it was a standardized thing, and now is much more free way for everybody to get into what they really want to do and to reinvent themselves. Because I have friends that started in a specific industry, after a while that they discovered that they don't want to do that anymore, so they had the opportunity to change. We are still behind. I see this happening a lot more in the US, because luckily I still have friends there, and the thing of reinventing themselves is much more approved by the society. That for sure. But again, I think we are improving in that sense, and everybody's understanding that there is much more other than just the job, the forever job that you needed to have in the past.
Or even the same position. Like if you just look in the marketing sector, there are a lot of different positions that you can learn and you can change, because now in 2023 we have a completely different mentality than our parents, as you said. So yeah, nice, interesting question. And basically the time, I think it's finished. Thank you very much, Mattia, to have shared your background, your stories, and your advice with us, and to have been here. Italian team again. We are back. So thank you, Said.
Thank you, Laurent.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And let us know what you think about this topic and share your ideas with us. Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Bye.